I'm happy to see all of you. You should get 2 notifications. You can reach to the cloud too. Um, so I don't know, there's a lot of noise here. I hope you guys don't hear it. We have a sleeping baby. We have a little girl with a tablet and all sorts of cooking going on back there. This is life in the New World Order. But I'm glad to see you guys here. We're going to wait a couple minutes to see who we pick up. Hi, Isabel. Hi, Tiana. Hi, Monsita. Hi, Naomi again. Hi, Abdulrahman.
Hi, Jason.
Stefan was here. I don't know.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice
Hi,
to see you
Jason.
again, Mr. Jason. Hi.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Good. How are you? Abdul?
Good. Hello, everyone.
And so I'll do some business here before we get started. I'm going to send an email with a link that will be a way to register the participation that you've had for all of the workshops for the fall. And it will also have a little survey for each workshop, which you can grade every workshop. I'm going to send that to everybody probably at the beginning of next week. And you'll still have 2 more workshops to go. So you should be able to re-access the information later on, or you can wait until you do the last workshop. Hi, Yanira. And so we need that. And then I'm going to also do some other things and send some other things to you. And there was some notification sent today about, or the last 3 days, about working for the office, which we're going to try to set up. And we're also going to try to set up the succeeded Hostos so that everybody can be able to access the office virtually. And then some other, we've been talking about some volunteer activities virtually and maybe in person. So the virtual one, we're going to definitely be working on next week. Stefan's going to set up a day. And what we're going to do is we're going to sing. I know some of you say I can't sing. I know Andre says he can't sing, but we're going to sing because every year we go to Chinatown. We were going to Chinatown to sing to the seniors down there, and they're not meeting this year for a variety of reasons. And so we're going to make a recording and we're going to send it to them. We're also going to make one for the Children's Center, I think, and share that with the SGA. As a collaboration to send to our Children's Center, because the SGA over the last couple of years in collaboration with the SLA has done some things with the Children's Center. So that's some business, and I will stop talking now. We have a few people here. And we'll introduce, did you want to say something, Stefan? Is that why you suddenly appeared on screen and put your glasses on like super, well, guy name?
Look, I'm gonna wait till after the session. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna not interrupt Yunerys. I know she's really eager to get started, so I'm gonna wait till the end to actually address everyone.
Hello, Sally. Hello, Franco.
Go ahead. I don't have any issues.
So Yunerys, you're very dark. Can you make that? Can you get any light on you so that they can see you? Because I'm going to put you in the foreground. So we have a member of our group who graduated. She was a very valuable member when she was part of the organization back in her time. She did over 200 hours of community service in 2 consecutive years. She served in the New York State Model Senate. I know some of you have done that. She did the National Model United Nations. I know some of you have done that. She served in student government. I know some of you are doing that and have done that. And she went on from Hostos to George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And she came and visited with the students who went to Washington on a couple of occasions and gave guidance to them during the Model UN scenarios. And she's also collaborated and met with some of the alumni who graduated before her because she's had a plan, I don't know if it's still the plan as of today, to go into the diplomatic corps. So she's very talented, very well educated, and is still connected in a very significant way to the Bronx and of course to Hostos. She started very early, I think, did you start in the CLIP program?
In what?
The CLIP?
Yes, I started CLIP.
started in CLIP and worked her way all the way up to being like a 4.0 GPA student. So she has the full experience and she has my full confidence. So I give you Hostos Student Leadership Academy alum, Yunerys Liriano.
I'm
Give her a round of applause.
I'm still shocked that you still let me do workshops, honestly. Do I look better now? No?
You're still a little dark, but we'll work with it.
Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen. Let me see. Share screen. Can you guys see it?
Try it again. Try it one more time.
Okay. Can you see it now? Great. Okay. Present. Okay. So hi everyone. First of all, thank you so much for being here. I know this is the first week of December. I believe we should be starting getting ready for our third exams or finals. I know I'm getting ready for my third exam. So thank you so much for coming, for being here. I decided to title this workshop "Shining Over the Imposter Syndrome," just because I have been hearing all of this amazing people when I went through the Student Leadership Academy, and I saw all of them being super successful. But then, and I wanted to be just like all of them. I was like, I'm gonna pick something from here, something from here, something for here, something for Brian, something for this. And I really felt like I wasn't prepared emotionally or prepared mentally when I left to GW, which I'm gonna be talking about a little bit more. Whoop. Okay. Sorry for that introduction. As Jason mentioned, I started in Hostos Community College. I started CLIP in 2014, and then I started Hostos in exactly 2014, and I finished up December 2015 at Hostos Community College. Just a little bit more about me. I went into American ITSU in 2014. American ITSU is mentorship program for first generation students in the CUNY system. I'm not sure if American ITSU it's still promoted in Hostos. It's still promoted in Hostos, Jason? Yeah. Okay. So if you have any question about American ITSU, I can give you a little bit of background and how to tackle the application process. From there, 2014, I also became part of the Phi Theta Kappa. And at my time of graduation, I became part of the Alliance of Business Students under the business department. And then after that, I went and moved in 2016 to the George Washington University, as Jason mentioned. I did such a huge lap in my life. I decided to leave New York City and I went to Washington, D.C. And from there, graduated in 2019. And I also joined Phi Sigma, the Kappa chapter in 2018 at George Washington University as well. So the whole reason why I'm saying all of this, I know it seems like a lot, but there were a lot of things that actually happened through all of these things that I'm probably going to be giving you guys a little bit more of a background story. So Okay. Why is this going ahead? Sorry about that. So what is the imposter syndrome? So according to the Oxford Dictionary, I'm just giving you a little definition of what the imposter syndrome is. It's the persisting inability to believe that one's success deserved or has been legitimately not being recognized as a result of one's own effort or skill. And the whole reason why I wanted to talk about all of those success that I have is that just like everybody else, I went through a lot of occasions, the moments that I have imposter syndrome, where I feel that I didn't fit in, where I feel that I needed to have a mentor, where I feel like I needed to talk to someone. And I'm gonna talk about later on about the experiences, but I just want to let you know that it can happen to you in any stage of your life, at work, maybe becoming a manager, having a leadership position, at home, being the older sister or brother, at school, partaking in leadership programs and clubs. I myself was part of the ALMA club, which Professor Lisa Colon actually started. I started the club with her, and then we went ahead with that. Why are you doing this to me now? Okay, I just put a few of the pictures of women that I look up to and I really think about a lot. Her book Overcoming by Michelle Obama, she talked a lot about how she felt the imposter syndrome when she went into Harvard, when she started studying law, and how she felt like she didn't fit in, but she felt like she had such a great desire and passion for what she wanted. And also Supreme Court Judge Sonia Sotomayor, who until today, she keeps saying that she came out of the Bronx, she went into Princeton, she studied law, and she still feels that at every stage in her life, she feels like she's still not adequate for it. Also, I know that the poet Maya Angelou, she once mentioned that every time that she published a book, she felt that, oh my gosh, they're going to find out the game is running out. So she felt that the more books she published, every time that she published a book, she was going to find out because she was an imposter. And just to kind of relate it to some of those big figures that we know every day, that they also feel that way when they were going through the different stages in their lives. Oh, why you keep doing that to me? Okay, so types of imposter syndrome. This is the moment where I'm going to give it a little bit of myself into the story. I came from the Dominican Republic when I was 17. I obviously didn't know any English at all. Probably you can listen and hear it, and you can still hear an accent from me. I came into the CLIP program, then I went to Hostos Community College. Over there, yeah, I got a 4.0 GPA, but I went through kind of that period when I said like, oh, this is not really that important because my writing is terrible. So those types of comments that kind of along the way kind of like pile up. And then when I moved into GW and I started doing all this research papers, my thesis, I even had one of my professors who told me like, I don't know how you got into GW because you don't know how to write. And that a specific moment for me was like, oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't be here at GW doing this. And that's when like my whole imposter syndrome started acting up, and I kind of like went through different paths and stages in my life. So probably as I keep going and talking about the different types of imposter syndromes, I'm going to kind of like pinpoint like, yeah, that was me right there. So I want to refer to the different types of imposter syndromes in a book that I read by Valerie John in her book called The Secret Thoughts of Successful Women. Fun fact, a 70%, more than a 70% of women actually feel that they're going through imposter syndrome, especially in corporate America. Keep that in mind. I like numbers. I study economics. I'm going to be throwing those numbers. The Secret Thoughts of a Successful Woman, Why Capable Suffering from the Imposter Syndrome to Thrive in Spite of It. She mentions the 5 different types of imposter syndromes. The perfectionist, the superwoman man, the natural genius, the soloist, the expert. Yeah, okay. The perfectionist. So this is one of them that I do relate the most. The whole reason I relate to the perfectionist so much is because I don't know if you are that type of person that when you're doing a paper, you're like, I finished my paper, but I don't feel like it's perfect enough. So I'm gonna do all these things. And then at the end of the day, you're just gonna have to ask your professor, like, hey, can you give me an extension? I don't feel like my paper is finished, but you know your paper is finished, but in your mind it's not finished and it's not perfect. So you shouldn't give it in. So that's something that definitely happened to me. There were so many times where I asked my professor, like, hey, can you give me an extension? I don't feel like my paper is ready. But it's just because I fit it into this whole perfectionism there. And I'm here pointing out of a few questions. So why you think I'm perfectionist? God, I can relate to you. Like, have you ever been accused of micromanagement? Have the difficulty of delegating people? You feel like you work 100% all the time, but you still don't feel enough, and you still need to give that 100% more. Like you should have been given because that first 100% was enough. When you start missing the marks on something and you feel that it has never been cut off good enough, that you have a task and you cannot stop it because it's not perfect enough. So for me, another instance when I was a perfectionist was at the moment when I was transitioning from Hostos to GW. I knew that I have a certain deadline for all of my applications. I completed a total of 7 applications being pushed by Jason. And I submitted the application like 10 minutes before the deadline, just because I wanted it to be so perfect. And the issue with that, I'm not saying that there's any issue with being a perfectionist, but the issue with that is that there is so much that you're missing when you become a perfectionist, is because you're missing the valuable time that you should be using on another task. You are getting self-doubt on you. You're neglecting other stuff so you should be focusing on. And it's really not good for you. And that's something that happened to me that sometimes I am like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that. And I wanted to share. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this workshop, because I wanted to share this whole feeling of the imposter syndrome. The superwoman in men. This one is the type of imposter syndrome that involves you definitely doing everything and going beyond that. I got an award for doing, I believe, 360 hours. I don't remember really well, of voluntary service. And on top of that, doing my classes, on top of that, working full time, on top of that, doing applications for scholarship and internships and stuff like that. And the problem with that is that you believe that you're so capable of all of that. And you had to understand your limits. And a little bit of me, I didn't understand my limits. A little bit of my whole journey in George Washington University is that after half of the year, after 1.5 years, I decided to double major in economics when I was there. And I kind of like pushed myself to have 5 econ classes a semester, which is something that I will never recommend anyone to go through that. And I just felt like I really had to do it because I had to show that I was capable of doing it. I was capable of graduating on time, and I was capable of doing the things that also I was expecting for myself. And you shouldn't do that ever. um, it really was a lot mental health and emotionally. And it was something that I wish someone to tell me at the moment when I was going through. Um, so you can see on the screen different questions that you can ask yourself and see if you are in, or you can relate to the superwoman. Did you stay later at the office, or being part of your team, even past the point where you have completed tasks? Do you get stressed when working and finding downtime time? Have you let your hobbies for things that actually, I'm just gonna say it didn't matter. Did you feel like you haven't truly achieved the titles and the pressure and the hard work of the things that prove that, just to prove that you're worth it? So the third one, the nature genius, I feel that this is 50% of who I am. So if you are a nature genius, these are the type of people that they have been through their whole life, having straight A's, doing fantastically in life, and then finding themselves into a block row and not being able to address that and get it to the limit. It happened to me when I was Hostos. I did have a GPA that was 4.0, but then when I moved to GW, for me, it was so hard to kind of like keep up. And I went into a moment that I had to rely on Jason and go to Jason and be like, Jason, I don't know what to do. Should I transfer back? What should I do? And these questions over here are questions that kind of like, if you relate to them, you can also, you're also a natural genius. And those questions that, do you have a track record of straight A's? Were you told frequently that you were the smart one? Do you dislike the idea of having a mentor, or that you feel like you can do it everything on your own? When you're faced with setbacks, your confidence tremble. Do you often avoid challenges? Is it comfortable for you? When I started working, because I started working in a different type of field. I'm not doing economics. I'm actually working into home foreclosure, which is totally different. I mean, I use a little bit of economics and finance in there, but not a lot. I did struggle a lot with this. It was really hard for me to ask questions, and it was hard for me to find someone that would answer those questions for me without me feeling like uncomfortable. And if we want to be leaders, that's something that we don't want to do, feel uncomfortable asking questions. I understand that we all want to be leaders, want to be the face, want to be straightforward, and be an example, but also asking questions and feeling uncomfortable is also part of leadership. So it's something to keep in mind. The soloist. This one is pretty similar to the natural genius. Um, this one is the type that feels like can do anything, but at the same time doesn't do it. It relies on procrastination. And it's the type one that, just like the heterogeneous, will not rely on being uncomfortable and asking questions. Um, so some of the questions on screen that you can, if you can relate, are: do you firmly feel that you need to accomplish certain things? When you say you don't need anyone's help, do you frame requests or requirements in the program, or things that are similar to, again, asking questions and feeling like you can do everything yourself, but you don't do it, and rely on procrastination? The expert. The expert is the one who not only relies on procrastination, but also shies away from applying and doing the things that I had to do. You can definitely see that on a little part of me. When I was at GW, my dream was to have the American college experience. And I wanted to have it so badly that I applied to 3 different sororities. And at the end, I didn't get to the 3 first. I ended up getting to the 4th one. And it for me was like, okay, these people are lost because they really don't know my value. But at the same time, I was feeling so inadequate that I didn't have a space and that I didn't have a group to rely on. And I that kind of like stopped me for applying to other places and applying for other internships and applying for other opportunities, because that sense of not having that group that I wanted to have kind of like shy me away from all this possibilities and great groups and great people that I could have met and I didn't do. So a few questions that go with the expert is: do you shy away from applying for things that do not meet the requirement or that you not feel comfortable with? Are you constantly seeking out for training, certifications, just to make you feel like you belong to it? Or even if you feel like you're not good enough, you're still looking to more to feel like you're good enough. Okay. Oh. Okay. So these are a few questions that I want to ask you guys. I explain a little bit of the different types of what imposter, or like the feelings that go with the imposter syndrome. So if you want to shout out or say which one do you identify with, what makes you fit in one of those, they can just go ahead and say it. And if you want to give an example as well.
This is Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good, good. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, I can identify, even with the last one you said where you found yourself overwhelmed with the 5 classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can identify, but the attribute mostly that stood out was the soloist. Thinking I don't need anyone, or I can try to take on things by myself. Yeah, that's been me, and I've been trying to learn other ways of dealing with that, reaching out more, asking for feedback, things of that nature. But yes, it is challenging to have that mentality when you're trying to be productive. And like you said, we all need help. So yeah, I would encourage people to definitely reach out and ask for feedback and seek help when needed. Thank you.
Yeah, and something that I really want to point out is that for me, when I was at Hostos, I was so into like, oh my God, I see all these great people and I want to be just like them. And I want to take this from this person, this from this other person. And then I want to become this person. But then I realized that if I don't go out, receive feedback, and I know that when I'm having this roadblock right there, that it's just not feeling good enough sometimes, I'm gonna actually be pushing my team back and I'm not gonna be a good leader. So I had to recognize that I'm doing this so I can move on and I cannot hold my team back. So that's the whole reason why I think knowing this imposter syndrome is so important, because once you know yourself, once you know what you need, you can actually get the feedback and then you can go back, work on yourself. And at the same time that you lift yourself, you're lifting your own team and group as well. So thank you for sharing that. Definitely. Anyone else?
Jump in?
Naomi, yeah, you can go.
Okay. So, hi. I definitely identify myself with the soloist. Like I could identify a little bit or each other examples or the different types of imposter syndrome that you would that you show, but the one that I identify the most is the solace, because I've been trying to do things by myself for a very long time, and it makes it hard for me to ask questions, ask for help, and ask for feedback. Like I said, oh no, I got it. When people try to help me or anything, I must most of the time say, no, I got it. If it's heavy, it is a heavy load. I take like 5 classes, 6 classes each semester, and I try to just handle everything by myself. And I say, I got it, I'll do it. But I rely a lot in procrastination, and at the end of the day, if I don't do what I said or the goals that I said I was gonna do, then I feel bad, and then I feel like I go trick myself, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for saying that. I identify with the sellers. Thank
Yeah, and definitely I understand it because for me, I get it. I get that I am a leader and that I need to be the face and that I need to show leadership, but also I need to know how to make questions. And even though I keep hearing this all the way through Hostos friend GW, I understood this when I was at work. I had this really incredible task. So I had started working on databases foreclosure mortgages. And it, it was like so much. And I was like, I got it. I got it. And I got 2 weeks to work on this. And then until the last day, I haven't done anything. And then my boss is like, I need you to finish this because I have other team member that has to come up with the next task on the project. So I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And not actually being a leader because I procrastinated all the way. I literally procrastinated for 8 days, doing all other tasks, knowing that this whole project was a priority. And then from that, I rushed it all the way. I did the whole work in one day when I wasn't supposed to do it. uh, I ended having to go back into the project and then having my coworker work on it a day later that he was supposed to work on it. So all the way, I keep hearing, yeah. I can do it by myself. I'm a leader. I need to talk to others, get feedback, what I needed. But then when I really got into the workforce, that's when I learned like yeah, I'm not doing what I was supposed to do. Like, I'm not implementing what I hear so much. So procrastination and just not asking for questions had to be two of the biggest setbacks that I ever encountered in my whole life. So thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else?
Can you show the categories back on the screen? Because Denise was
Yeah.
asking.
Does she want the questions for all of them? Or just the list?
List, I guess.
Okay.
Denise, you can speak for yourself. Go ahead.
I fall into categories. I am the superwoman and the expert because I'm always running, rushing, doing it all, thinking that I could do it all. And and at the end of the day, like I'm always either, forgetting about me, and because I have like 10,000 tasks that I already picked up on the way. And the reason why I feel like I'm also the expert of number 5 is because I feel like I don't know anything sometimes. Like I feel like I lack knowledge, and I'm always seeking for, to know something, to learn something. Like learning for me is not enough. So I do feel like I fall in those two categories.
Yeah, definitely. And I can say that I myself find into the superwoman, the natural genius, and the expert. And I can relate the whole superwoman, especially most of my experience are gonna be from work. Um, I had taken into more tasks, and I love to say, oh my God, I completed this. I'm a great leader. I completed this. My teammates are gonna be so proud of me. Um, but honestly, what I have been doing is not asking questions, doing things wrong, pushing my team back, and having to rethink and re-brainstorm all over again. And it's hard to ask questions. I understand that. There are so many. If I could go back to so many of my classes when I was at GW, I would do it, because I think that the whole reason why they all kind of like went wrong in a certain way, it's because I didn't ask the right questions, because I didn't ask for the right feedback, or I didn't go to my classmate. And I kind of like started thinking that, oh my God, I am an expert. You can be an expert in one thing, but then you cannot be an expert in everything. You're gonna have to ask questions. I remember that I had an econ class, and I was like really struggling. And then one of my classmates, he was not struggling. He was having the ride of his time. He was doing so well. And then I am like, but how I cannot be like him? How I cannot be an expert on this? And then we went together in a history class, history of Latin America to be more specific. And he was struggling there, and then I was having the ride in my life there. So the thing is that we tend to want to be experts in everything, but we are not. And I think life tried to show us that, but also that is not a weakness. That's actually what make us special, because was something that you learn from the Leadership Academy is that you have a unique type of leadership. Not everyone has the same type of leadership, and it's a right to learn to know what type of leadership you have. But thank you so much for that. I kind of like went sideways. Anyone else?
Hi.
Hi.
I want to say that for me it's going to be
perfectionist and expert, because for me, nothing that I do is 100%. And it is always like, this is good. Okay, I'm gonna give this away. And 5 minutes later, it's not crap. I'm not doing it. So it is really, I never get satisfaction with the thing that I do. And it is also perfectionist because even though to talk, it is like, no, I won't talk because I don't speak as Mustafa, Mohammed, Mustafa, or Tiana, or any other of the members of the Leadership Academy. And that's why I say it's perfectionist and expert at the same time, because it is something that I always ask myself is why I can get to like speak or be like them. They have these skills that I'm not seems not able to have it, you know.
Mhm.
And it is frustrating, but practice is what is supposed to get me to that point. And all I'm saying is that I'm an expert and a perfectionist.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, because I am also that type of person. Like I am everywhere. um, I mentioned that I came from the Dominican Republic, not knowing any English at all, and I still don't know how I'm speaking right now. You can ask Jason. I didn't speak at all before. It was so hard for me. He was the one who kind of like pushed me, and I put it in myself as a goal to also do that. Um, and I definitely can relate to you, because I was part of the SGA, and when I was part of the SGA, there were people in the SGA who were more outspoken. They were more type of a leader, and they were more I don't know, they had that thing that just made them special and made them look like, oh, they're a leader, because they were composed, they knew how to talk. And I was sitting down like, oh my god, I'm not like that. And somehow for a while I feel like they have it all figured out, and I don't have anything to say, until I kind of went back, GW, my work happened, and then my boss came to me and she was like, I want to talk to you, because um you don't really talk in our meetings, but that one time that you talk, you should just give us the greatest idea ever. If you could have told us about that idea 10 minutes ago, we could have finished this meeting. So what I'm saying with that is that I know how you feel. I'm also that way.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure, do it.
I always go like, yeah, they are asking for someone to talk. Okay, this is my turn. No, let me get, for example, let me let Denise to talk. Okay, no, next time. Shoot, I'm gonna talk right now. No. Andre's gonna talk. Okay, let me. And then the entire thing finished, and I'm like, well, it wasn't the day, but it's like,
I do that. I still do that. I still do that, and I can relate to that so much. And I don't want you to be like me, because I feel I have missed so many opportunities, and I don't want you to miss them as well. I I know, because you're just like me. You have so much potential. You have so much to say. People will care so much about what you're saying. So you should just go ahead and say it. Don't you feel like you don't have the skills. You had the skills. You have what I need. You just have a different type of skill. So don't don't feel like that. I just trying to push you. I know it's not gonna happen overnight, but push you, do your thing, keep doing it, okay? Anyone else want to say something? Thank you so much, Yanira. No one? Okay.
hello.
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Isabel Neira.
Hi,
I can
Isabel.
say thank you, Yanira, for share your thought and your beautiful experience. It's like I'm relay a little bit like Jadira too, because my first language is Spanish. My second language is English. English I learned in CLIP in Hostos Community College. I passed all of these steps, CLIP, ESL program, step by step. Yeah, even though I need to be expert in speaking, right, in English, but little by little I am getting. I am relate with the expert and perfectionist woman. Also, I am considered superwoman too, a natural genius. Yeah. Why? Because when I am doing something like perfection, step number one, when I do something, I need like, oh, this is not right. How I need to say my professor. I need to do that, and I need to rewrite again, then again. Then I say, oh, okay, this is perfect. I need to send like that, but this happen. I think so. This happen a lot of the students because we know, we need to get the maximum credit sometimes, but sometimes we open to learn, because we are students. Thank you so much. I enjoy these workshops.
Oh, thank you so much. Um, honestly, I can relate to you. As I mentioned before, I started on Clip. I didn't speak any English. I still am at the point where I feel like I don't speak English at all. And I don't know if I shared this before, but my second semester at GW, I had one of my professors told me, I don't know how you got into GW because your writing it's not at the level of GW. And that for me was just like, I went crying for days. I was like, there's no way I deserve to be here. There's no way I can be here. I was already thinking about transferring back to CUNY. But like I said, trusting you. The greatest thing that we can do is work hard, pin the things that you can work in, and don't expect that the result is going to happen overnight. It's going to take you some time. It's going to take you the time to look at it, take action, go back again and look at it. It's going to be a cycle until you get there. So don't ever feel discouraged. I know we have those thoughts in our heads, but at the end of the day, they're just thoughts. And honestly, people don't really care that much. And why did they care? Just go and do your thing. I know. I know. The biggest enemy
Can I say
are the ones-
something?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much for your tips. I really appreciate. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know Janira is just saying like the worst enemies in your head. I know. and that's why I just want to take that extra step of us learning to identify these things so we can take it in controller and use it in our advantage. Because with the whole imposter syndrome, there is anxiety coming, there is self-doubt, and there is so much energy being wasted by doing all of these things that if you could just move them around, put them in a ball and just like throw it to yourself and throw it as positive energy, you could be able to do so much. So I just want us to take that first step or identifying what we are so we can go ahead. Anybody else wants to say something? No? It's okay. Okay. go in. Okay. On top of doing that reflection that we just did, why are you doing that? Okay. I'm sorry. These are a list of questions that after we finish the workshop, if you had time or if you want to reflect on it a little bit more, I want you to think of it, is to think, which of your successes are you taking ownership of? I know a lot of us have at least one little success that we are so proud of. I don't know, write it somewhere that you can see it every day and that you can remember it. So every time those thoughts are coming to you, just use it to motivate you. Which are your beliefs about yourself are holding you back? For me, my biggest belief that is holding me back is that my ideas are not good enough. Well, when Jason asked me about the topic of this workshop, I was like, oh my God, I want to make a workshop. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Is talking about the imposter syndrome going to be good enough? Is this going to be good enough for 2 hours? So what are the things that are holding you back that you can identify and you can think, is this really holding me back? How is this holding me back? What can I do about it? You have, I don't know if you guys have heard this word, because they are using this word all the time, but like reinventing yourself. Yeah, it's everywhere. Reinventing yourself is everywhere. I'm just putting it out there. So how do we do that? What steps are we taking to do it? Which of your strengths are you really not looking at? I know for me, speaking is not, or writing in English is not my best skill, but I know that I'm good at speaking and writing in Spanish. So what do? I make it better, and I become a tutor in Spanish. So I use it as my advantage. And with whatever money I get from that, I'm gonna put it into a course that I can learn how to write better, speak better. Are there any online classes, any online clubs? I know there is this application called Meetup. When I finished up at Hostos, what I did is that I went into Meetup, looking into clubs, and there are actually a bunch of events and people that want to do better in public speaking. So if you want to do and be better at public speaking, you can do that. So there are many things that you can do. It's just don't stay there. Be able to move. Who are you talking? Yes, that's the app, Meetup. Who are you talking to? You know, they say that whoever you speak to is a huge influence on you, and somehow it's true. I was relying on someone who was really, who was really unproductive, who had no goals, who was just going through life when I was having a really hard time back at GW. And at the moment, I was like, so this is the person who's giving me support, who I'm relying on. And the actions of this person made me think like, these are not the type of person that I should be relating to or moving on the circles. I should be working and moving and talking with people who I want to, or that I kind of where I want to be. And I know we have heard this all the time, but it's true. You don't want someone who is just, oh yeah, I'm not good at this. And it's kind of bringing you down too. So who are you really talking to? This is why the Leadership Academy is so special to me, because I don't know if probably Jason has talked about her before, or probably not, but I'm going to talk about her. There is this student, this is an alumni at the Student Leadership Academy. Her name is Samantha, and she became a U.S. ambassador. And when I went and talked to her, I was like, I want to be just like you. She was living in DC at the time. She was she was just sore to the country that she was going in the mission. She was gonna train on that. And definitely she kind of like became my inspiration. So look for the people that inspire you, look for the people that you feel like they're gonna bring you up. Don't stay with the people that just gonna bring you down. And when you really beat the imposter syndrome, what is there for losing? Is there anything of losing when you beat up the imposter syndrome? There is just greatness. The best version of yourself is coming out of there. It's coming out of the shell. So please think about these questions when you have the time. I mean, I had no issue if you want to point that out something with them right now. You can go ahead if you want. Okay. What can we do to overcome the imposter syndrome? Find a supporting group. We have the Student Leadership Academy, you have clubs at Hostos, you have the SGA. I mean, if you can go and knock the door at the SGA, I'll do it. Especially that scholarship that they have, I'll do it. Get yourself a mentor. Get yourself a professor. There are professors at Hostos that, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for. I had Professor Norberto. He was a professor that gave me economics class. He definitely was the one who kind of got me into economics. And he's the one that I always go to questions. And we talked the other day, and because I was asking for a recommendation letter for a program, and he called me around 6 p.m. and he asked, and there he told me, oh my gosh, I thought about you when I saw this successful woman moving from the Federal Bank to the Treasury, and I thought about you. And honestly, he did something so uplifting for me because I was going through a hard time, because I'm having an exam next week. And he was like, I believe in you. And that for me was amazing. So get yourself someone that believes in you, trusts in you, and gets you out of that imposter syndrome. I had Professor Cologne. She got me when I was in a really shy time that I wouldn't talk. And then out of the sudden, she was pushing me, let's get you as a president of the club, let's get you into this. And that's when I learned that I really had to push myself and do stuff. And Jason as well. Jason is all the time pushing me and like telling me stuff that I don't want to do, but I still had to do because I wanted to be a leader. So I'm gonna do what Jason told me. So get yourself. What do you mean? Get yourself a mentor. Get yourself someone that you know can trust, can uplift you, and can give you really good advice. Also realize no one is perfect. As I mentioned before, there are people that are good at something, there are people that are good at something else. We're not perfect, but there are still things that we have to work on. And knowing that we go through this in any stage of our life, it's something that we have to keep in mind. Also, change your thinking. They said that what goes into the brain, it's how your whole life is going to turn into. Change the way you think. Um, if you think that the day is going to be bad, it's going to be bad. So just try to approach things a little differently. This might not be the best thing that I'm good at, but I'm getting good at in the future. So this doesn't have to be my weakness. This doesn't have to be the skill that I'm not good at. Remember who you are and what makes you unique. As I mentioned before, this took me a long time to understand because so close to me, there were so many people at the Leadership Academy that I was like, this is a leader, this is a leader. They're so good at being a leader and I'm not. Just remember who you are. Everybody has a different leadership style. Everybody approaches things differently, but that doesn't make you less. That doesn't make you or not at the right place. You are at the right place because you are there and you deserve it. Remember that. Make peace with yourself. Sometimes we have all of those thoughts because we don't make peace with ourselves and our thoughts and who we are. We are expecting to be a version of what we see on people, and we're not. We are just a version of who we are. So let's just make peace with who we are, get to know who we are, and work with what we have, because that's what help us achieve greatness. Stop measuring your success with others as well. Stop looking at others. Your success is your own path. And once you know the skills that you need to get there, you have it covered and you're gonna get there. Learn to be vulnerable. This is something that took me so much to understand, that if I want something for you guys to get is this: learn to be vulnerable, learn to ask questions, learn to get feedback, because we're not perfect. Develop a healthy response to the situations, things that happen to you. And of course, once you learn from them, share your experience with others. Something that took me a while to understand was that once I learned something, I had to share with others. I thought that everybody had everything figured out, so they didn't need me. Actually, there are a lot of people that your experience is really valuable to, that I had to share it with. What can we learn from the imposter syndrome? You can learn auto-assessment. You get to know yourself, who you are, what you can do, what you cannot do, what you're good at, what you're not good at. Creating confidence. That's stronger for the next roadblock. I'm not saying that they're gonna stop being roadblocks, that they're gonna stop being weaknesses, that they're gonna stop being stuff in your way to success. No, but you're gonna be stronger and you're gonna be better and you're gonna know how to approach stuff. Finding your niche in your group. You have the Leadership Academy. Talk to people in the Leadership Academy. I think that was one of the things that kind of I regret, because there is so much potential, there is so much genius in the Leadership Academy and the people around in Hostos and the people around wherever you go, that now I just want to go into everyone and try to pick a little bit of their brains and ask them questions. It's so interesting how people approach different things. So interesting how people, it, everything about people is so interesting. I'm just talking like, as I'm talking here, like I should have major in psychology, but I didn't. Try to pick up people's brains. Find your group. Even though you don't know them and what they're talking, you don't get it. Try to get it. Maybe you don't know. Maybe that's the path that you're gonna do. Nobody told me that I'm gonna be working in a company with mortgages and foreclosure. I never thought about it. I just thought that I was going to do economics. I was going to go to the Federal Reserve Bank and I was going to do monetary policy. And that was it. That was my life. And literally, there is so much I'm doing for every neighborhood in New York City. The company just launched a new algorithm for mortgage underwriting. I was really happy to be part of the research of that. um, there is so many opportunities and there is so much learning for the smallest thing. So find out people, get to know people. And that's where my presentation goes. Anybody wants to ask questions, um, go ahead. Okay.
I can speak.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna be looking at the chat.
So I think one of the things that Yunerys has talked about, and maybe all of you can reflect on, because at some point or another we've had a conversation, each of us, or we will have a conversation for those that haven't. There is something about believing in yourself and believing that anything is possible for you. So a lot of the times when you walk in the door of Hostos, is a very warm, comforting place with a lot of loving people who care about you and want to see you succeed. But as you go out the door, sometimes they're thinking, I know the best plan for you. I know that City College is your best next place. I know that Lehman College is your best next place. I know that, being a nurse is definitely for you. And I want to tell you that as much as that is supportive, because your goals are attached to those things, people aren't going to force you to go in a different direction in your goals. The fact of the matter is that those goals are your goals at a 2-year college, and they're not your full goals for your life. There's a lot more out there once you hit the ground running at the next level. And what I try to say, and Yunerys can back me up on this, when you're with us, when you're at Hostos, is that you have to dream bigger than you've ever dreamt before. You are getting a college education, and you are equal to every other student on the planet getting a college education. So whether it's a 2-year college or a 4-year college, whether it's an Ivy League institution or a city institution, public institution, it doesn't matter. You're still pursuing your education. You're still pursuing goals. You're still on your way to get somewhere that you want to go. And for a lot of you, when you come into a 2-year college, some of you are hesitant. Some of you haven't had a real set of experiences as of yet. Some of you have had more experiences than other people. But all of those things can contribute to misleading you into believing that there's one route that's going to take you to the place that you belong. And I'll give you myself as an example. This is how I came up with this. So I went to SUNY for undergraduate. I studied English, and people said, "Were you going to be an English teacher?" And sure enough, I became an English teacher. I didn't want to be an English teacher. I wanted to be a writer, but I was an English teacher and eventually an English professor. And then I went to Columbia and got into Columbia as a writer. And I went there and I wrote, and I was good at what I did. And when I graduated from there, I went back to being a teacher and a professor, and then eventually became what I am today, which is the coordinator of this program that does a lot of positive things in the world. And so when I was sitting in those classrooms, whether it was high school or college or graduate school, I had a belief in my mind of what it was that my journey was going to be. And that's great. But I never even knew that this program existed or that anything like it existed. And so I also tell the story that the person who directed me to apply for the job at Hostos 13 years ago was a former student of mine who was tutoring math at the college, who was also happened to be from the Dominican Republic. She had been my student as a high school student, and she had seen the posting and knew I was looking for something different. And she said, "Why don't you apply for this?" And I looked at it and said, "Student Leadership Coordinator." And I said, "What the heck is that? I don't know anything about this." And I read all the top part, the first 10 lines, and I was like, I don't know how to do any of that. Budgeting, what do I know about that? All of these things that it said. And she said, "But look at the bottom." And I looked at the bottom, and it said, have great interpersonal relationship skills, be able to mentor people, provide support, all these other things that I was doing because it was in my nature. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, well, let me try it. And then I applied and it took forever to get the job. And then I got the job and I didn't even know what I was getting into. And there was no office and there was nobody. They had a plan, but they didn't have anything else. So I had to build everything from there. But the point of the story is, you know, it wasn't there when I was sitting in all those classrooms. And where you are going to wind up, where you are meant to be, may not be in your current field. It may not be in your mindset. It may not be in your classrooms. It may not be in the classrooms at your next level, at your bachelor's degree level or at your graduate level. You may not know. It may seem like you're firm, your grasp is, I'm a nurse, Sally's a nurse, Andre's an artist, right? Everybody has their thing, right? Isabel is a great public speaker, a passionate fighter for everybody. We all have these things that we're really good at. Mustafa is a wonderful advertiser of things. But all of that is just part of who you are. There's so much more to every one of you. And I think what Yunerys was sort of capitalizing on is because you're here, because you're in this group and you're able to talk to each other and communicate with each other and share these experiences, not only while you're a member of this academy, but after you graduate, it allows you to see that there's a lot more that you can do. There are a lot more doors that can open to you. And there's the possibility of being anything that you want to be. And we have members of our group who, you know, have decided from a long time ago they're going to be president of their own country. They're going to go into politics. They're going to go into education. They're going to go into nursing. They're going to go into the medical field. And some people have gone in those fields, but that also is not the end, right? Because people continue to grow and people continue to develop and people continue to want to go to places. And so I just want you to take that into account. I mean, Yunerys, I can't tell all the stories about Yunerys because there are so many of them. But I'm not, you know, I think that, you know, there was hesitation about whether or not she could go to George Washington. There's hesitation about going this direction or the other direction. And so all of you may feel that, right? You may say, you know, I can't go to Harvard because I have a family and I live here. But there are opportunities that actually can get you to Harvard. And we have people who've gone there. I can't go to Stanford because it's on the other side of the country. We've had people go to Stanford and go for free. I can't, you know, I can't be this because I don't really know anything about it. And people end up, you know, studying and asking questions and really going about their business. We have a couple of authors in our group, right, who never knew anything about being an author before and then just suddenly followed their passion. We have people who have become artists. And a lot of the students who I've invited back, and even a lot of the presenters that I've invited to speak to you over the year and in the past years, got their start by doing it with us. And I said, this is something that you can put in your portfolio. This is an opportunity that you can build on. And so a lot of people who you've seen and you will see as you come to these workshops got their first opportunity to do it with us. And maybe it wasn't so great the first time. Maybe it was shaky. Maybe it left a little to be desired, but they worked on it. They tweaked it and they became better at it. So much so that a lot of people that come you would never think that they had their first workshop with us and that they were just getting started out as it. So I want you to think about that. And that's something that Yunerys is capitalizing on. So I've talked a long time about that and now I'll shut up. But I just wanted to say that. And the other thing is, let me tell a story. This is one of my favorite stories with Yunerys is we were in Washington, D.C. We went to the Model UN. It's the first night of the conference. I know some of you have done the Model UN there. It's first night of the conference. We go there and Yunerys goes into the room with all of these students from around the country and some from around the world. And immediately within the first half hour feels like she's not going to get anything done. And we're out in the hotel lobby area and she's bawling, crying, tears coming down her eyes. And I remembers looking at this, they had this chocolate sculpture. And I'm looking at the chocolate sculpture, trying to figure out what am I going to say to make this young lady go back in there and put up a fight. And whatever it was that I said, probably nothing terribly inspiring, but just enough got her back into the room, and she fought, you know, the good battle, the good fight. And I think we got recognition that year for the work that we did. And she certainly developed her profile in terms of international relations and understanding things about things. And she's come back, and as I've pointed out, she's talked to other students about this, and even mentored people at the conference as well. So that first step might be the scariest thing in the world, right? Whether it's, you know, being invited to speak at a particular event, going to a volunteer activity for the first time, stepping into the hospital for a first time, a classroom for the first time as a teacher, you know, getting on stage for the first time as an actor. We have several actors amongst our group. We have a stand-up comedian who actually went to Columbia University. Um, uh, you know, all of those things can be scary the first time that you do them, but it's all about, you know, getting past this syndrome that can stop you from achieving all of your goals and getting to the next level. And that's my now you can go back to talking.
Oh,
No, I'm just gonna say that all all the things that you said were so true. I really didn't like say it with my own words, but you noticed it yourself that um when I took that semester break, that I really wasn't thinking about taking that semester break before going to GW. My idea was to go to Baruch College, and I'm not saying Baruch is bad. It's just that since the moment I went and talked to Jason, he always knew that I wanted to go to a big school. He always knew that I had that passion, that that was my goal. I came to America to go to something like Columbia and Cornell and Syracuse. And if it wasn't for him pushing me, I was have stayed in Baruch. And I think about all the experiences that I might have lost because I didn't do because I didn't do that. So um I'm even though it was a really hard time for me, like honestly, I went through a lot when I went through GW. I cannot stop saying that. But it really helped me to become a better person. It helped me to see my potential and to stop doubting myself so much when I did, for me, it was like all a series of steps. I doubted when I came here to the US. I doubted when I was at Hostos. I doubted when I left Hostos. I doubted when I came to Washington. I doubted when I left Washington. I doubted when I was in my job. There was always this doubting, and I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't pushed by my mentors and the people close to me. So, yeah.
hi, Yunerys.
Hi, Sally. How
How
are
are
you?
you? It's such a pleasure to see you. And
It's been a while.
I know I want to say congratulations for a great workshop.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great subject. I never heard of the imposter syndrome. Today is the first time I'm hearing about it. And it looked like you just crafted the whole workshop for me. So it it looked like from top to bottom you were talking about me. So I started taking so many notes that I said, no, wait a minute, let me take pictures. So I took a lot, and I see a lot that I have started changing on me already, and more that I need to change, and definitely I will be getting that book to learn more about that imposter syndrome. But I just want to say that it was great, and it was just crafted for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's something good about that book is not gonna put the other gender down, but that book especially um mentioning women because
Okay.
a lot of women go through the imposter syndrome more than men.
Yeah.
Something that she kind of mentions is that um, more men, after taking a training by themselves, they
Mm-hmm.
go and take and apply to those job positions. Meanwhile, women need to go to the training, need to get the degree, need to get
Mm-hmm.
the certification. So that's something definitely for also to think about, that imposter syndrome and gender also
Yeah. Thank you so
important
much.
there. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mhm. I know Estefan wanted to say something. Didn't he want to make an announcement? Okay.
Yunerys, right?
Yes.
Yunerys, I really did. I learned a lot from your presentation. Honestly, the imposter syndrome. Like I heard of that once, but you really broke it down. And just another comment on your presentation. It takes a lot of guts to get up there and speak to like a whole group of people, some of them that you don't even know, and speak on what you know for about an hour or more. And it just leaves you vulnerable. And that takes a lot of confidence, a lot of guts. And I want to just big up you. And you did your thing. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it, and I learned a lot.
You're welcome. Believe it that this is all Jason's task.
And Abdul Rahman has his hand raised, so.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jason and Yunerys. Yunerys, I must confess that your presentation has been so good, and I really appreciate that. And coupled with Jason's contribution. You see, these workshops are not just something that just come, we overlook them. They have a lot of impact in us as leaders because the Hostos students look forward to us at least carrying them along, being their voices, standing for them in any situation. And this workshop also are strengthening us, through our leadership abilities to have focus, to be confident, most especially in speaking, presenting, and representing the people, that's the students, and ourselves as the leaders. So I must commend you all. I cannot talk about everything now because we've discussed a lot on this workshop today. I speak a lot of things, coupled with things I know and the things I don't know. So mine is just to appreciate you all, Yunerys, for coming to make this presentation. And Jason, I will always thank you for being the anchor man who always hosts these workshops. So we appreciate and I say thank you all.
Thank you. And something that I want to say is that if you have a passion, go for it. There were so many people when I was a host that were telling me like, oh, it's so expensive to go to this school. It's really hard to go in. And kind of like pushing me to really not apply to it, or kind of like making me feel that I wasn't good enough to apply for it, until the point that I feel like I shouldn't apply for it. And even when I got there, I had people telling me like, "Oh, you're from the Bronx? Like, are you really from the Bronx?" Like people from Washington D.C. getting from all different places, people with money. I'm just gonna say that. Asking me if I was really from the Bronx and if I was really Latina and what I was doing there. So just remember that you are breaking stereotypes. You are going ahead of the things that people think about people that look like you but are not you. So remember that, because that's good. That's what's gonna make you unique when you get into a room of people that don't look like you. Yeah.
And then pass it down to your children. I know we have some parents here.
Yeah.
And Sally's daughter's like a superstar, a rock star. But like really, I mean, the one thing that I definitely heard when I got to different places was, are you from the Bronx? I know I'm a little different than you guys, but I am from the Bronx. And the one thing that I have always made sure that I want to do, not only with my own children who are still fairly young, and I'm going to push them, and they're Latino too. But I also, with all of you, to remind you that you are unique and you are the trendsetters. You are the builders of community. You are the ones who will set the standard for other people to follow. And if you don't believe that, look at the last 13 years of people who left our college from our program who have gone on to do extraordinary things. You never mentioned Samantha Jackson, who is a United States diplomat, right? There are no other United States diplomats from Hostos Community College. There are a number of them from CUNY as a whole. Samantha not only went on to be a diplomat after she graduated from Hostos, she went to Columbia and then Brown, and then back to Columbia again. So all of these things are possible. We have engineers who are working for General Motors. We have engineers who are working for different entities around the country. And so there, all of these possibilities exist. But I don't want to push you that hard. I want you to know that your contributions to community can be as generous as working and caring for people as a healthcare provider, right? We're in a pandemic. All of the students who are serving as nurses and doctors who graduated from our program are extremely important to our society right now. You can be a teacher. A lot of teachers who graduated from our group who are making an impact upon young students, and especially here in New York, students who are struggling because the teachers don't represent where they come from, don't have an understanding of what their background is about, to be able to talk like, Stefan or Sandra about, Haitian culture to students who might be of Haitian background and descent in your classroom is extraordinarily valuable. To talk about anywhere, Nigerian culture. We have so many Nigerians from our group, or Senegalese culture, as Sally can do, is so valuable to the community. And you guys can all do that and make an impact because of where you come from and your background and your experience. And especially because, you all have this wonderful ability to speak multiple languages. There's people who can speak 2 or 3 languages in our group. To be able to communicate with young people as an educator is extraordinary. I mean, how refreshing is it for a young person who's entering 1st or 2nd or 3rd grade for the first time to have a teacher who can actually speak in a way that communicates with them other than just through English or through, whatever means that a teacher can. So you all have the power to make and build strong communities and make impactful decisions. And then as leaders, you're also leaders in your families. I've always, since I got to Hostos, the best leaders I've ever met, and I'm not slighting anybody, by the way, but the best leaders I've ever met have been moms. Moms are already built. They're built tough. They're built strong, and they're already leading in a group, right? They have that family group, and they take that and then they extend that out. And it has been one of the most awe-inspiring experiences that I've had to see the moms who have been in our program who have taken on leadership roles. And that's not to diminish the dads, because we've had several dads in our group who have taken on that role as well. And again, all of you are great leaders and all of you have the possibility to do extraordinary things. I'm just highlighting a few things because I'm calling for time.
I told you I was going to try to do it early because I need to leave.
Hi, Yanira. How are you?
Hi, good, and you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to say that I enjoyed your workshop and hearing your story and the other people attending the workshop's story as well. And you did a great job.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking into the chat and I'm looking into people's stories that I really should had pay attention to because I see all these people saying great things. Really, I wish you guys would speak those because I'm just seeing them now. But if we see each other again, if COVID let us do that, I would love to talk to you about this because we all have greatness in all of us. Thank you so much, Andre.
And Yunerys is also accessible. So one of the things that she didn't mention and I didn't mention early on is that she took on the role as the chair of our alumni group last year. We're still in the process of revising that and figuring out ways to make that vibrant so that we have something that's recognized on campus. But she has always been willing to talk to people and stay in contact with people. So if she doesn't give you her contact information, make sure she puts it in the chat so you have it. So you can bother her and ask her all sorts of really important questions after this is over.
You can also ask Stefan. Stefan is part of it too. I'm saying.
I like how you segued into calling me into the conversation, Yunerys. I personally want to say you did such an amazing job. You always do. I'm super proud to have been able to work with you and be able to know a little bit more about you and everybody else that spoke today. I want to apologize, guys. I know I haven't been here this semester. It's just been an extremely busy semester. Thank you, Jason, for highlighting Yunerys and not me.
Perfect. This is perfect.
This is amazing, actually. I'm super shy when I have to speak publicly, but I definitely want to express to you all that you all are doing such an amazing job here. And obviously the work that you do is super important, and especially during this time. And you're super important. And I think that the stories that you guys have and the things that you share with one another and with other people, thank you for spotlighting me now, Jason. It really helps. Trust me, like coming from a place where I joined the academy and felt like I wasn't a good leader and felt like I wasn't capable of affecting and impacting other people, to now people will tell me, Stefan, oh my God, like the impact that you have on people is such an amazing thing. That's because of this academy, and there's value in the work that we do. And I think that to continuously reiterate that, it's just, Jason's amazing. And I love Jason. I know that Jason doesn't like to be highlighted or spotlighted, and shaking his head like this probably in the background. But I know that personally I wouldn't be here without Jason, and I wouldn't be the leader that I am without Jason and without all of you. So I want to say thank you guys for, keeping the program going. I know this has been a different year for the academy, and the fact that we're still standing, we're still volunteering, we're still, with one another, it's amazing. So your stories are inspiring. You are all amazing, and I'm so proud to be among such great leaders and great people. So thank you.
You want to talk about the Christmas or the, let's say, holiday singing?
I had to take a deep breath, Jason. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to take a deep breath. But yes, guys, as always, every year we do have a round of holiday things that we do. We usually go to Restoration, and we go and we are part of their Christmas party. We're trying to see if that's a thing this year. But more than that, we sing carols to the senior citizens in Chinatown. And that's become sort of a staple in the Leadership Academy since we started doing it. I did it last year. It was pretty fun. They made origami for us. They were just so appreciative. And mind you, they don't speak English, but they will listen to you sing songs in English, Spanish, French, any language you can sing. This year, I have the honor of being able to curate the song list for all of us. But I want you guys to tell me when the best time is for us all to get on a Zoom call and to record it together. It was the idea of a couple of students that we get on a Zoom call and we record it, and then we send the video to both the Children's Center at Hostos and to the Senior Citizen Center in Chinatown. So if you guys have a best day that you guys are able to, come out and sing some songs, I'll get Jason the list so he can share the list. I'm going to type every song and send it to Jason so that you guys are able to sing and we're able to celebrate and bring smiles to people like we always do every year. So that's my thing, Jason. Like, is there anything else that I have to talk about?
So it's been like 12 years or 11 years that we've been going to Chinatown every year to the senior center and singing. And right after we did it last year, actually, they had a major fire. And the center was burned, not to the ground, but burned. So I think it's really important that even though we can't go in person this year and do it, that we try to do the recording and we send it to them, and then they can share it with their constituents, the members of their organization. And what it entails, I know everybody always says, so I don't sing or I don't come on camera or whatever it is. I think for us to do a successful one of these, which we can also then share with the Children's Center as well, is that everybody will have to come. Everybody will have to try to sing, at least, because there's no hiding behind a microphone or behind one of our singers. So at least try to sing, and then everybody has to come on camera. And I know that's hard for some people. I won't force anybody to do it, but if we can try to do it, I think that's what was special about it. And I'll tell you why, because the reason that it's always so special to go to Chinatown is that even though they don't understand English sometimes or Spanish, we've sung Spanish songs there. Um, we've even sung a Hanukkah song there. The reason why it's so special to go is that they smile at us and they're happy to see us. And the reason why we started to do this as an annual event was because it represented something that was reflective of our community. A lot of the students who are part of Hostos are far away from their family, one part or another, maybe all of their family, who are back in another place. And so for us, it's an opportunity to actually go out there to a community where people are definitely far away from their families, may not even be close to them, and actually give them something to be happy about at this holiday time. And especially with the pandemic going on, I think there's a lot more challenges. So Stefan's going to figure out a date that works for everybody. It's going to be, off hours, probably something when you're not in class, when you don't have a final. We're going to do it, we're going to record it, and we're going to upload it to YouTube and share it to the groups that will identify. So if you're excited about that, please join us. If you're not excited about that, please join us anyway. We'll try to get a bunch of our alumni to come back as well. I know Yunerys is an excellent singer, so she'll definitely be there. So that's what I wanted to say about that. And hopefully Stefan will get that done shortly. So there he is. Is he spotlighted again?
Jason, you're spotlighted. I'm so happy that you're spotlighted so that you can. Jason is standing in for Stefan Diviello right now. So no, guys. Seriously, if you guys are interested, I'm gonna put my phone number and my email in the group chat. Please hit me up. Hey, Steph, I want to participate. And give me the best day. I would say that finals are the next 2 weeks. So maybe around the 20th, before Christmas, before Jason's birthday, we should do it. I mean, his birthday's coming up soon. So we could do it before his birthday or on his birthday. So we could sing him happy birthday too. That would be pretty awesome. So
we have to do it before then, boss. We can't do it on the 20th.
We can't do it on the 20th? Okay, cool. So we're gonna still sing Boss Happy Birthday. So yeah, so it's still
Maybe
gonna
we can do it on the 14th or the 15th, or maybe the weekend before that. We can get together,
Okay.
do a Zoom.
So let me ask a universal question because Boss threw out the 14th and the 15th. So he chose the day for me. So he's doing the work for me. If you guys can do the 14th or the 15th, can you just put the day that you can do in the group chat and I'll tally everything up. And then we'll send you guys an email later this week letting you guys know literally what to do and whatever. We don't have hats this year, so if you can procure a holiday hat.
First of all, the week is over. This is the end of the week, okay? No, but what I'll say is this. We're going to send an email on Monday, and we're going to ask, probably through a doodle poll, what's the best date and time for everybody to do it. And then we're going to get you guys together and do a Zoom. And we can have as many as 300 people. So hopefully Stefan will do a good job and recruit 300 people. The Malave leadership, by the way, Malave, you can come and join us for this. We would love to have you. Anybody at the central office that would like to sing with us, to send to Chinatown Seniors and the Children's Center, we would love to have you. Any alumni who are out there, we'd love to have you. It is non-denominational. If you have a song from a different culture that celebrates the winter time, we will definitely sing it. For the folks at the Senior Center, they don't mind. For the folks in the Children's Center, they don't mind. I think that if we make it non-denominational, it's a lot better for them. And so that's what I would say. So if we have a Hanukkah song, we can do that. Feliz Navidad is one of the favorites at the Chinatown Senior Center, so I think we're definitely going to do that. Kids always love Jingle Bells. My kids love Jingle Bells. We'll definitely do that. And so, Stefan, you're already on notice that there are 3 songs.
Are you talking about my curated list already? You just gave away 3 songs. Like, I wanted it to be a surprise, but obviously you want to call out 3 of the 5 songs that I have. So you know what, boss? I'm just going to give away the other 2, okay? Because we did them last year. Yes, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is one. Thank you, Denise. And what is that other song that I wasn't going to do, "O Holy Night"? I don't think I had that on there. Whatever song you guys want to do right now.
I know. Red-Nosed Reindeer. something like
We
that.
got that. And then
We
you
got
say,
Rudolph, man. Like, come on,
we
pay
wish you a
attention.
Merry Christmas.
Can
Have
we
a-
still brainstorm on the last option, please?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We're gonna brainstorm. We're gonna.
gonna
No,
sing-
brainstorm on the last option for a song, please.
All right, Tiana. So you're in
I wanna
charge
know
of that.
who's
You're
gonna sing some
facilitating that
music.
last song, Tiana. I got
All
you.
right, guys, listen. I mean,
Okay, I'm
I
okay
know,
with that. I can do that.
guys, I know last year we did it, and I really had to say I had to hold it down for everyone with my vocals.
What you talking about, Willis? What are you talking about? I was there.
Yeah, man. I was holding it down, man.
And by the way, as Stefan said, if you can, I don't want you to have to go out and do anything, but if you can rummage up an old holiday hat, it can be whatever you like, that or reindeer ears. I mean, there's lots of different things out there. It doesn't have to be specific, or dreidel cap. I had a dreidel cap when I was a young kid.
Someone is asking Stefan to dress up as Santa again.
That would be good. That would be
Look,
very.
all I'm saying is I might can have some connections with the North Pole, so I might can do that. Like, we're gonna see what happens this year. We're gonna see what might can happen.
Anyway, so, but I hope that.
If everybody could dress like in like holiday gear to make it more festive, I think that would be fun too.
Yes, that would be great.
I like that Tiana's it was on Raven for a second, and then Tiana's voice came out, and that was just hilarious. It was totally classic. I don't know if anybody else noticed that happened, but I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, you can,
Sorry, I don't know if I cut somebody off.
that's all right. You can do ugly sweaters too. I mean, ugly sweaters are very big.
OMG, yes, ugly sweaters. Yo, guys, they got the ugly sweaters on sale at Target. It's between $5.99 and $9.99. Get your ugly sweaters at Target.
RJ.
Just putting it out there, y'all.
Raven, did you have anything to say?
Oh, without
She really said we can do other people.
Anyway, the idea is just to have some fun and to do something nice for some folks who are, you know, far away from their families, children who maybe have had a hard time, especially with the holidays coming. It can be very challenging. So whatever you can do, however you make your contribution, we are welcoming all things. And we're going to record it. And if we have to record 10 songs because we have to cover every culture, we will do it. Stefan, you're on notice. Whatever we're brought, right, outside of the songs that you've selected, if there's a Haitian, like Christmas Carol, is there one? No.
Not that I know of, but I can go and do some research. I definitely am open to doing research. Anybody, if you guys have any songs, I'm gonna drop my email. Please send me a song. Don't send me like City Girls, a City Girls song, and tell us to sing City Girls, okay? Don't send me some reckless song like that. Okay, the Christmas holiday themed wholesome
Holiday
songs.
Sally, is there a Senegalese version, something holiday song?
Not really. We don't really celebrate like that, unless the French one.
Okay.
No Migos.
Maybe
Zena here?
we could Papa Noel.
I really want a diverse like playlist. Like I think it would be dope if some people could sing in French, you know, Spanish, Mandarin, Arabic,
Mr.
whatever.
Mata, is there anything for like the winter that you guys have? I know it's not Christmas.
Oh.
No, Zena, anything?
I don't know. I'm gonna check and see
We
if
just
they
like-
have something in Arabic.
It can be seasonal. It doesn't have to be religious in any way or connected to any religion. Be just like,
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
okay, cool. I think we've covered all of our bases. There's definitely, Franco, where are you originally from, Franco? I'm asking him on Zoom. You don't have to tell me, by the way. But if anybody comes up with
That's Brazil, boss.
you know, anything in terms of winter season, right? It can be holiday, it can be festive, it can be joyful, whatever, something like that. Even if it doesn't represent winter, it's okay. And there's a song called Snowflake, Snowflake.
Hey boss, if I
Yeah.
can get a friend of mine to sing a song in either Mandarin or in Punjabi, can they perform?
100%, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Please invite your friends. The more the merrier. Like I said, we got 300 spots on Zoom. Let's try to fill 300 spots on Zoom. Right.
Boss, this is gonna become a very interesting thing. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody sing in different languages. You guys are amazing. Anthony, remind
That's,
everybody, please.
Diana will need the lyrics though, which is going to be very hard for us, most of us, to read unless it's converted. Anyway.
Oh, wait. So they can't perform it in their language? I thought that would be fun to have like a multiversal
Yeah,
celebration thing.
no, I'm saying that we would need the lyrics and it would have to be, but that's fine. We can have one person.
Okay, I get you. All right. So like, all right, I get you. So it's not just
fine.
one person.
Background vocals?
Was it?
You will be background vocals? Is that what you're
Exactly
saying?
what Dre did.
Yeah,
last
we'll
night.
come. We'll sway. Anyway, Yunerys,
Yes.
is that it? Did you finish? So let's give Yunerys a virtual round of applause.
Hey, go Yunerys.
Thank you.
Yay.
Again,
If
as,
Yunerys wants me to perform with her in Spanish, I can sing in Spanish with her.
sounds good.
I'm gonna try to be there. I wasn't really thinking about being there, Loki.
Why not?
She goes, I wasn't thinking about singing. She was like, I was just trying to be a supporting spectator. LOL.
I don't know if I'm gonna be working at that time.
We don't even know what time it's going to be.
Okay.
Anyway,
Look at her fronting already. Girl.
just get rid of that imposter syndrome. This like
What? You're using it on me. Thank you.
Shots fired.
It's our relationship, bro. This is how it goes. Always.
okay. So I want to thank you guys again. I appreciate you being here. I know the next 2 weeks are going to be kind of busy for everybody. We're still going to have 2 workshops on the 11th and the 18th. If you can stop by, we'll have a panel next week. And the following week, we'll have something to close us out.
Who's gonna be in the panel?
What's that?
Who's gonna be in the panel?
Philip Ellison's organizing panel. It's a couple of, he's bringing in a couple of politicians. I don't know exactly who's going to be here. He gave me a list, but he's confirming this week.
Ooh.
So I will get that information to you. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to send out a link so that you can fill out the workshops that you attended this fall. And also if you can grade them, that includes all the people who are alumni. Just evaluate the ones that you attended. They want to keep track of all of this. It's been very hard for me since Nuha's not with us right now to capture everything. I'm trying to do the best that I can. So your assistance is really important. And like I said, we're also going to try to get the office up and running virtually. So there's some people who are going to be employed and we're going to try to get the kiosk up, which would represent the SGA booth. So we're going to try to get things up and running for the spring. I've been working on all that in the background. It's been kind of taxing, but you know, my hope is that we'll be able to reach as many students as possible going into the spring, especially because you know things have become more challenging at the college in the world, right, because of the pandemic. And I want to make sure that we do the best that we can for everybody who steps into Hostos and for all of you who continue to come back to Hostos, because we really appreciate you. I really appreciate you, your dedication, your service, your support, your friendship. You know, it keeps me going. It makes me want to get to you at 3:30 on Friday afternoon and continue to do the things that I do, because this is important to me. This has always been important to me from the very first time that we had one, and the very first day that I walked onto campus in November of 2007, until we can't do it anymore. And I will do everything within my power to make sure that we won't stop doing this. And so those of you that are participating and making contributions and lending your support and your voices and your friendship and your commitment to the Academy is really important. And so I appreciate you 100%. And that being said, we finished a little early. I want to wish you a good weekend. I hope it's warm and that you stay safe. And to be honest, I want to say I love you all. I mean, I really do. These have been, not being able to volunteer myself on Thanksgiving really made me reflect. I shared something with most of you last week um, about that. It's I'm happy to have a family and be able to be with them. But you are my family as well. And volunteering on Thanksgiving and volunteering through the holidays has been a part of my life now for 13 years. These are strange days, and I don't enjoy them without the ability to go out there and make a difference. And so I love you and I miss you, and I really wish that we could all just go out there and make an impact together because it's important. And I know the value of everything that we've ever done. I know the value of all the contributions that you've made. And I know that we will continue to do this in spite of all of the obstacles that come against us. So God bless you all. Take care. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. I miss you. You know how to reach me. You all have my cell phone number. If you don't, you should. And so if you need me, reach out and take care of yourselves. And happy Friday.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, Yunerys.
Thank you, boss. Have a
Thank you,
happy
boss.
Friday, everybody.
Thank you. Have a
Have a
great
good
day.
night. Enjoy
Thank
your
you,
weekend,
Gypsy.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye, Anthony.
Bye.
Bye.
No, bye, Kiswen. Bye,
Bye. Stay safe.
Roxanne. Bye, Franco. Bye, Raven. Bye, Isabel.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye, Mr. Jason. Thank you so
Goodbye.
much.
Rosanna. Bye,
Bye,
Denise.
Andre. Hi,
Bye,
Andre.
Bye. Hi, Raven.
Martha. Bye, Paris. Bye,
Hi, Stefan.
bye,
Raven.
Anthony. Bye, Anthony.
Hi,
Bye,
Anthony.
Andre.
Bye,
What?
You're going to be singing up front, so you better get ready. Get your voice over.
Mr. Jason.
I'm ready.
Wait, Mr.
Hi.
Jason.
What? No, we're recording. We'll do this offline.
Okay. Can you?
Wait, we're going back to Hostos?
When? Right now?
No, not now. I mean, like to volunteer or do anything, whatever.
We're working on it. I'm trying to see what we can do.
Let me know. I'll bring my mask.
Okay. Thank you, Yunerys. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, God bless you all. Take care.
Bye, Raven.